ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is Mike Pituley with Alex Scott, and this is Check Your Bias. If you haven't watched our previous shows, I guess from last year, Al and me essentially are going to come out here and we're going to combine our two shows from last year. We're going to have Al's power rankings, so he's going to go and give you his updated power rankings from about. We did one last fall, was it, Scotty? Is that right?
Yeah, fall into winter, kind of recap the 2022 season, and now that all the fields have taken shape and Worlds is on the horizon, I think this is timely to offend the masses again.
Perfect, yeah. So we got that for you today, and then we're also going to be bringing you our Nationals prediction once we've gone through that. So jam-packed episode of stuff here. So thanks for joining me again, Scotty. It's nice to see you. Two washed players, both of us not attending Nationals this year. It's pretty awesome that we got a show where we're going to talk like we actually know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Things seem a little overrated. Rather have a kid.
Yeah, I at least have that excuse, I guess, where I had a kid this summer, so I can at least say that that's why I'm not at Nationals, but You're just washed up bowler, right?
Yeah, nowadays, just a couple turnies and boom, 0-2, done.
Yeah. Well, that's just the way it rolls sometimes when you have blonde bowls. You never know what happens when you come to the provincials. So maybe next year people will see us, the whole new format and everything is happening next year. Hopefully we'll be able to make our way to Nationals next year, or we just might not have any relevancy for this show come next year.
I'm confident we will make it out okay, and maybe even sneak ourselves predominantly back on this list again.
Perfect.
I got you, Mike. We're with.
Thank you. You might put me on your back, type of thing. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Scotty's Power 20.
Okay, so since we're into it, we might as well jump into those rankings. Scotty, power rankings. Do you want to start with the men or the women?
We started with the women last time, so let's get going on these boys, and let's keep it classy, okay? So last time out, Cameron Lafrane was my number one, and once again, I'm giving him the nod again at the number one spot. He got another selection with Worlds, and the squad seems to continue to really enjoy what he's doing, even as a quiet leader. So I think Worlds might be a bit more of a defining tournament for him than past ones, but I'm here for it. So he retains his top position. Any thoughts on that?
Nope, not gonna add much there. If it's status quo, I can't really object to it. He's earned his spot so far there, and I think as you're saying, it's a pretty important tournament because things don't particularly go well at Worlds. He may slip down that list, so I'll point it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people chasing right now, and second on the list, also retaining his silver position, is Patty Bird. He's got another forest trip on the horizon. And Birdman's he's ready to prove the doubters wrong yet again. And I don't know what else to say about Pat besides he's another strong favorite for Nationals, and he deserves to be in the spot.
Yep, well said. Going to defend 2 national titles, and if part of me thinks that if he double repeats, you almost have to throw that man in the one spot because that's four golds if he were to pull it off. So. Can't argue with that.
Make Nationals great again, you know. Number 3, we have a new riser, up 4. Owen Kirby. I was very, very excited when his selection happened because he got his feet wet in Ireland a little bit, and he had a pretty decent first-time experience, and I think the HPC decided he was ready and gave him the promotion, and it's a massive promotion, and I don't know how nervy everyone is about it, but I'm here for it because I think he has some serious upside in this country.
Interesting. No, that's a big rise for Owen. I'm not terribly surprised that he had a rise, but it's nice to see you're putting some stock behind him, because he did do fairly consistent in Ireland, as you're saying, and obviously going to Worlds is going to be a big thing for him. So good luck to everyone there.
I can't wait. I'm really excited about this team. It's going to be fun to follow along. Another number 4 spot is another world participant. Up 2 from last time is Johnny Bazier. We get to see round 2 of him and Bester. And I think that's really him getting the nod again to play with Ryan, I think says a lot. And they're just going to be looking to improve on their Commonwealth Games performance. So he takes my 4 spot.
Yeah, and the fact that they're both essentially familiar with Australian greens, it's not terribly surprising to see them getting another nod down in Australia. And I know that the leadership factor is a thing that gets John sort of his spot on that national team. He's a good leader from what I've understood in my conversations with people.
Yep.
And just how he's played in tournaments around Ontario this summer. Like he won the Betker with some scrub. I don't remember who it was with some scrub. I think it was Daryl. Yeah. So yeah, they won the Betker this year. So he's earned his spots and he's playing pretty good.
Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl
Fitzgerald? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. I hear he's an okay guy. And to round up the top 5, down a couple spots for no real reason besides Bazier getting another crack with Bester and Kirby's rise is Bobby Law. He's getting another crack at the Worlds. I do believe this event to be very important for Bobby Law for reasons I don't really need to discuss. I think just a hunch. And I hope he bowls well, because I heard he did bowl quite well in Birmingham, but this is a brand new surface to deal with. So it'll be interesting to see how he does again.
No arguments here. I'm not surprised to see the people selected to going to World Bowls to be around your top 5. So don't need to dwell on that very much.
Agreed. Number 6, down a couple spots, mainly because of those World Bowls moves, is Braden Campbell. Between a newborn and some dots, he's kind of looking to 2024 for a squad move. But until then, he will be looking for another podium in BC in a week or so here. So I think just kind of getting back into competitive mode to wrap up the season and then kind of reset for next year, and he'll be back in the mix again.
Yep, well said. He has a solid finish there in Victoria. I'm pretty sure he'll be saluting the national team selectors or whatever from the sidelines there, telling them to essentially degeneration exit and then go on from there.
We got 2 words for ya!
For sure. This next guy is kind of degeneration X and everyone too, and I'm very excited for the ascension of Eric Galipo. Up 6, and my biggest riser, number 7. He's, I think we're kind of seeing a little bit of a breakout here. He's got his U25 crown. He's got the same forest team that made it out of Ontario again, and he took down Woba in advance of nationals. This dude's having himself a season, and if he can get on that podium in the next 2 weeks, I think it's a big time for Eric.
Yep, very well said. He bowled incredibly well at the U25s in Regina here, and he also has, as you said, been tearing it up in the Ontario ranks. You can't really underestimate how hard it is to win your way to nationals, especially in their provincials. So to do it twice, 2 years in a row with the same team is very impressive. So
yeah,
I definitely agree with his rise up that list there.
Maybe it's just the flaming shirts that either throw everyone off or they're just like too offended by it to like really try hard, but it must work. So we'll see what happens. Number 8, down 1, Brandon Watson. He's had an interesting summer. He didn't get picked for World Bowls, obviously, but he's preparing himself for National Fours with your brother and your father and Carter. So I think they're going to be firmly in the mix, and there's still some upside to Brandon's game, and I'm excited to see those guys perform as well.
Yep. Nope. Definitely. he's someone who could rise or drop down that list depending on how next week goes.
Definitely. Number 9, down 4, a little bit of a bummer because he's had a very quiet 2023, but it's my boy Gregory Wilson. I have no doubt in my mind he will reemerge next year. I don't know in what capacity, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting time for Greg in the next couple of years, but I'm still willing to keep him in my top 10 until calendar turns.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He's still the defending silver medalist, so he's obviously got to have some stock in his name. But as you said, looked like a pretty rough set of provincials there, so makes sense that he would drop a little bit down that list.
For sure. And to round out the top 10, it's the other littler Watson. He's kind of had a up and down season so far, but again, I'm really excited to see what sort of damage he can do with the fours, and he's still a young pup. He's playing at the U25, so there's some untapped finesse that we can still reach with Carter, and I'm happy to put him at the number 10 spot.
Yep. No, I agree with him being still sort of up there in the list. He got eliminated from the U25s on paper. There was a 3-way tie for first in his pool, and he's the only person who actually beat Eric all week. So obviously he did something right. Just unfortunately, those tiebreaker formulas sometimes are not so good to you. So, yep, if he has a good week just like his brother, could see them up higher on that list, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You just agreed with everything I said. I'm pretty much masterful at this. So
I'm sure you're going to mess up once we start getting past 10 because it's usually when things get a little dicey there.
Yeah, a bit more contentious. Number 11, I'm keeping Jerome Kirby there, mainly because of his first ever international stint out in Warilla for the World Cup. I'm sure he learned some lessons. I feel like he did maybe win a game or two. I'm not really sure. I don't remember, but he's got his experience. He's a great singles player historically because he's won both outdoor and indoor now. And he's had a quiet provincial summer. But, I mean, if he decides to go out west again and do it again, then why not keep him here?
Yeah, he's a pick that's a tough one because he could essentially drift into irrelevancy pretty quick with the changes that are coming next year. If we're talking about a singles specialist, we haven't seen him come out of Manitoba for a couple of years now on a provincial team. So if he's devoting himself essentially to singles, that's not going to really work in the new format. And really the indoor, as we see it, is kind of being modified too. So could see that name slip pretty quick, especially if he's not really playing the team games. So I don't know the specifics between his team games and if he's playing them or not. Even he just might not even be playing them. But yeah, I see the slip on his name a bit there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's doing. I don't hear a lot of rumblings of goings on in Manitoba. So I feel like it's a wide open province though. So like, why wouldn't he at least try for the new format next year and get his feet wet at a brand new event? So we'll see. Number 12, down a couple, is your older brother, Johnny. He managed to squeeze in a gold medal fours match before his wife squeezed out a child. I'm excited to watch him perform at nationals. But he just doesn't really do much anymore besides like a provincial event and thrashing people at the club level, which he finds some sick enjoyment out of.
I'm not going to even have to comment on that. I'll just kind of shrug it off. He's my brother, whatever.
Yeah. I'm probably going to regret ranking him over you now, though. You're going to hold that over me forever.
I don't care. I sure hope I'm not on your rankings because I'm a washed player. I'm not even deserving to be in here. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I've also squeezed myself off of it, too, for now. New ranking at 13. This might be a little bit more contentious because I'm basing it off of upside, but I think he's back, and it's Michel Leroux. I wouldn't take too much stock into the mixed pairs because it's more of a low-key event, but I I feel like he's rolling some good bowls again. And man, he was so good when he was pitting in. So that's my hot take for the men's side right now is LaRue at 13.
Yeah,
if he actually is back.
That's an interesting selection that high up here. I can't necessarily fault it because we are talking about someone who won a gold medal. If we're, but that's interesting. He won a gold medal, and I know he is playing. I think the U.S. Open coming up next month. His name's in there, so maybe he has a good position, a good finish there again. He's back to an extent. I don't know how competitive he wants to play with some of the other players in Quebec. Maybe a bit of like a Jerome Kirby situation where we don't know the specifics of who he plays with or if he's even trying to play the other events back in Quebec. But interesting pick. I'll give you that one, Scotty.
Yeah, Quebec's it's kind of a different animal out there. I have no idea what's going on outside of like occasional chats with David James Smith. But it's another murky province with an unpredictable future. So I'm excited to see what kind of comes out of that. Another new ranking, previously unranked, number 14, is another old vet in David Anderson. In previous iterations of this segment, he was on my list for a while, but obviously kind of got overtaken by the youngins. But he's back. He won the provincial men's pairs with Harding, and I think they're going to be a threat in Victoria. So love to see it. Always been high on David.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with bringing him back in there. He's obviously been on up and down on your list. I know our list that would never published for many years. He's been one of the best players in Canada for well over probably 20 years. So definitely a good selection. I think him and Jeff, as you're saying, are probably going to be threats for medals in Victoria for sure. I think the Wiley Vets maybe later on in the show might be amongst your predictions for one of the top teams in the pairs. So decent selection, Scotty.
Yeah, and I've always had big respect for Harding as well. He's a great dude, and I mean he's got a men's pairs title under his belt already with Stadnik, so like watch out for them. Number 15, up a couple spots because I can't quit him ever. He's more on the PBA side of things nowadays, but it's Cody Olthoff. They had a pretty fun time out in England with him and Dylan Jacobs taking out Sam Tolchard and Walker. That was a tremendous match to watch. So I think he's got some raw natural talent. I've always been high on Cody. I want him to go into the stratosphere because I think he can knock out almost anyone on this entire list. But that's just he's doing his thing, and I respect him for it.
I just love the analogy, knock out anyone on this list. You're just making me think that Cody's going to get into boxing and start duking it out with some of these guys on the side of the green. But in all seriousness, yes, they did have a very respectable performance in England there. His singles was a little spottier because I think he lost to Gourlay. It's obviously tough when you go over there, but him and Dilly both played very solid there, and they're always kind of amongst the players that are finishing decently in the tournaments in Ontario, so I can't really disagree with having Cody on the list there.
It's just compatibility, man. I think the two of them got a good thing going, and I think they could take it to the next level if they chose to. Number 16, another new ranking, David Llewellyn. Again, he's back again at the Nationals with the Gallipo rink. He's residing on the senior squad. Him not getting picked for Worlds wasn't a shock because this is his first time on the squad to begin with, but he's there. And if he can improve on last year's Nationals and maybe get an opportunity to perform internationally at some point in the next couple of years, then I'm fine with putting him here.
See, I'm not to be a thorn in your side, but I'm pretty sure he's just a drop in your list, Al. I think you had Dave on your last list because he was on the squad.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure because they named the team by then, so I'm pretty sure you had him a little higher. So Daryl will have to make fun of Al in the editing here, but I'm fairly certain he's just dropped quite a few spots in the list, which, like you're pointing out, it's a reason. I understand he wasn't selected for the team. He is still going to the Nationals, so that's why he's definitely on this list. And I think if Eric and him essentially can team up, put up some sweet results this week or next week coming up there, I think it's going to mean that his name will definitely vault up that list pretty quickly.
You got to fact check me on that. That's an error in notes. So thanks for the pickup and thanks for the national humiliation. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime, bud.
Thank you. Number 17. Again, he's had a very close 2023. Maybe not as fortunate as last year, but Kerry Lucier, he continues to play well. He's obviously at the national singles, and he continues to be a tough out in every provincial event. Just a couple of things didn't quite work his way this time around, but I think Kerry is going to continue to work hard and maybe be on this list for a while longer. So, 17.
Yeah, no, I think you're correct to have Kerry still on the list there. He puts in the work. He did pretty good at WOBA. His team finished second at WOBA, so that's good. And I think he just missed making the provincial fours. If I remember correctly, I think his team might have lost essentially like the gold medal game or silver medal game, whatever it is. But if we're just putting sort of the respect where it is there, he does play in Ontario, and he's had respectable results, especially at nationals with the indoor singles there too. So good pick where you have him there.
I saw the shot that cost them the provincial fours, I think, and it was pretty bone rattling for him personally, and it was kind of like a shit happens in bowl scenario. But at that juncture, it's just I feel his pain. I went through that pain in provincial pairs this year, so I get it. Number 18 belongs to Tim Mason. Winning out in the BC singles was a good accomplishment. Not a hugely shocking one because he's always been pretty proficient at the game. Mysteries are kind of abound for BC next year. So the guy can huck daggers and he can beat literally anyone. But BC's kind of up in the air for next year. So I have no idea if Tim's going to just throw down and win the national singles and then we don't see BC next year. Like, who the hell knows?
Oh, wow. The sky's falling scenario there, Scotty. You're being pretty dramatic over here, but I can see what you're talking about. A lot of uncertainty at this point, but definitely valid to have Tim on your list. He's earned his way with the singles there, his performance, and I think we fully expect probably later on in the show here, you're going to maybe throw his name out as one of your predictions for the singles, especially on BC soil. So, yeah, again, we've been agreeing a lot here. You need to throw some strange names out or something with 19 and 20 so that I can start spitting at you.
Ah, man, I just love Tim. I just love the Mace, man. That's all I can say. And then because of last year's colossal slight, I am putting Steve Ogden on my list at 19. Yep, my bad, Steve. He's Mr. Cool. No one intimidates him. Excuse me. Him and Bees are going to look to defend their crown again, and wouldn't shock me if they're at least on the podium, and who the hell knows what medal. So Augie's the man until he's not. So I'm keeping him in the top 20 now.
I'm surprised that you threw him in there, but I'm happy you did because it's well deserved. I think last year is where I made a bit of a stink near the end of my list, or it might have been Cam in the chat that was making a stink on the list, but he definitely deserved to be there. I don't know if you want to put a joint slash on this and put Bazanson with him. I don't know if Bazanson's your 20, but I definitely think the two of them are kind of a joint package, and they're a very good team. And I think if we go back to 2015, Victoria pairs, they won gold there and beat down us, a much younger version and much better bowler version of us two. So
yes,
I have a feeling they're they definitely have a good chance to definitely medal or win again. Good point.
Yeah. I want to have them be a joint package, but people have different games, and I love the Bees, but he did not quite crack my top 20, and it's for no real slight besides Augie's Mr. Cool. Beezer's hilarious. He's the man. He'll huck daggers at you in the lead, and he doesn't give a shit. But the guy can get rattled sometimes, and when you can get there, it gets pretty funny. And I have a winning record against him, so come at me, Bees. Just kidding. I love him. My 20 spot. This was actually the hardest spot for my entire rankings because my watch list is like 15 deep. But I'm gonna keep John McDonald in my 20. Might be a bit of a hot take, but he continues to be an important member of the Birdman squad, looking to defend his fourth title in Victoria. I feel like he won something cool recently for, was it indoor? You might have to fact check me on that, but
PBA West.
PBA West, thank you. Yes. So I don't know. The 20 is a crapshoot, and I will quickly mention everyone on the watch list, but I'll stick John there right now because he's got history and he's got medals.
I don't disagree with John being there. I personally may have even pushed him up slightly higher in my list because he's a defending gold medalist. He's going back. He's proven on another platform that he's also fairly consistent as well. So yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. Let's see what your watch list is, because I feel there's a lot of names you've criminally underrated or left off your list. So let's go here.
Yes, be offended by my watch list. Mike McNorton. He's building up quite the singles resume in Ontario. Argument for him to be there.
Criminal that you did not include him on your list. He is playing in the singles. He won bronze, I think, last year in the Canadian singles, and he might even, I think, have qualified for the indoor. I don't remember. I'm just going off the top of my head, but yes, very good player and definitely deserves to be on that list, or your watch list. We'll say that's respectable too.
He was at the top of my watch list, but I'm glad you finally disagree. It's about time you had an opinion for yourself, Mike. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Derek Dillon, he's kind of playing the coach of the year role this year. He hasn't done a lot of bowling. I know he kind of threw my ass out last year, not giving enough leads respect. He was great. He was a tremendous lead at Nationals, an integral part of getting them all the way to the finals. Derek's good, but it's been quiet this year, so I'm keeping him on the watch list. Mike Pituley, that's you. But 2023 was the year of the baby, so let's see what happens next year. Boo, baby, boo. Just kidding. Your baby's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, very happy for you. Dylan Jacobs, part of the Cody Olthoff squad. I worship Dylan. I think he's one of the most naturally talented dudes in all of Canada, and I hope he really gets back in. I'm gonna go through these quickly. Is that cool, Mike?
Give her.
Yeah, Francis Standen, again, part of the Birdman squad. Derek Mackay, I was high on last year. He had a bang in 2022, very quiet 23, so couldn't justify putting him up there again. Myself, I lost the provincial pairs final, came down to the last bowl this year, lost the single semis in provincials. Need a reset after a fun time in Burlington last year. Lo Wong, he's an emerging star along with Logan with the 1 and 2s at the juniors. Mike Wagner's kind of have a quiet season. Jake Masterson, again, another young guy. He's got to keep it going. David James Smith, he's back. Victoria is I think it's his big moment. If he can emerge in one of those two events, I want to put DJS on this list because he's always had some good talent. And then Johnny Sightman from last year's silver, he's back again. Beezer's back again. Gary Pickering is representing in the B squad. He took out the GOAT and Alex Marshall this year. So what's his follow-up? And then finally, addition to the watch list is Martin Foxhall. I think he is starting to emerge as a very important piece of the puzzle for the Gallipo squad. But feel free to add any more. That's my men's rankings.
Well, you had some interesting names on there. I would agree with the majority. You're giving respect to people that are very much on the fringe of your list. Specifically, impressive seasons that we've seen. I would probably throw Dave Defoe's name on there out of Ontario. Double qualifier, like someone you obviously kind of have to keep a name on.
Yep.
The lead on that Anderson Harding rink, like lead respect if we're quoting Derek Dillon. Definitely you need to throw that name probably on there. The one that like I would probably smash my head into the table if I didn't have a microphone in front of me is Kerry Mans. I'm shocked he's still not kind of mentioned there. I really think this could be a big breakout season. I guess if we're going into our predictions later, I'm sure I'm going to probably be pretty high on them again. But Kerry is a terrific player. And then if we're going with island content, I still am shocked you didn't rank Ozzie Chambers in your list there. Silver medalist, U25s. So we're talking very respectable players. And even a double qualifier, if I'm naming another one, Jesse Wilkinson from Alberta. So we have quite a few high-end guys that kind of were left off your list there, but I'm happy overall with what you've done. It's not complete garbage.
Throw them on. Yeah, Ozzy was probably an omission that I should have had on there. I didn't make a lot of late edits, I will admit. Drafted this about a month or so ago and should have probably put Ozzy on there. I'll agree with you. Harry Mans, he's been on my top 20 before because he's done it before. But if they tank a Nationals, then breakout's not happening. So I hope the best for Kerry because Master is the answer. He always has been.
Fantastic. So that's your men's. I guess we might as well move right along on to the ladies. The ladies Power 20. Take her away, Scotty.
Man, ladies was very exciting. Kind of the last run of a lot of the older Canadians. World Bowls, lots of new drama, lots of new selections. Let's dig in. Back on the top of the mountain, up one, Kelly McDaddy. After getting the nod to skip the pairs and play the blue ribbon singles at the Worlds, she then justified this by making a fantastic Final Four run at the Aussie Open. I can't wait to see what kind of damage Kelly can do because she's done it in the past already. So this is a big time for her. She's the queen of my castle.
Yep, she should be. She's Mac baby number one. Top of the heap for sure. The last year's been great for her for her performances in Australia. So can't really argue one bit throwing her at the top. She was, I think I argued with you last time I had her at my top anyways. So good pick.
And just down a spot, Jordan Koss was finally dethroned. She had a big run at the top and she'll probably be at the top again. She's as good as they come. She eclipsed Bailey at the U25s, and now she's laser focused on improving on her Commonwealth games, and I can't see her not improving on that. Bowling with Kelly and then bowling with a bit of a rejuvenated squad in the fours as well.
So I almost wish I knew what the rest of your list was because when you throw the name there, Bailey, she clipped Bailey at the U25s, and I was there watching the U25s, obviously, of being an umpire, and Bailey was the more consistent player at the U25s, and Bailey played terrific all week. Jordan essentially squeaked into the finals, ended up winning the finals though. So like, you got to give some name there. So I really hope Bailey's name's coming up soon, because I'm gonna definitely pump that side up there. But I can't really disagree, because we're talking about Jordan, who won the singles last year, the fours last year, and on the national team still. So there's not really much argument to drop her down. I think I'm more just fighting with the fact that I hope Bailey's making a big leap up your list.
She has. Not quite at number 3, but she has. Bailey had a great round robin, but like, everyone is just gunning for playoffs, and then it's fight to the death, and Jordan knows how to win. And we're still waiting for Bailey to match that, and I don't doubt she will. It's just Jordan's done it. Number 3, up 1 into the 3 spot, Joanna Cooper. Here we go. You know how high I am on Joanna Cooper. There was an opening this year, and she dove in. And I think she'll be a reserved and very steady presence for the younger members at World Bowls. And I think she has some low-key leadership, and she plays a good game.
Yeah, she has to have some definite high-end leadership skills. I think she's definitely leading a very youthful team going to the Worlds there. So very respectable year in Australia. I think she just recently won another event and put up some good results at the Australian Open. So definite good selection to move up the list there.
Yeah, she had a great Oz Open too. They're making some moves. Number 4, up 5. Last November, this is the last time we did the power ranks, I said that there's got to be some opportunities here. And then kablam, Emma Boyd gets selected, and she fits in perfectly with that atmosphere. She's doing a lot of things out there, making a lot of connections, and I think she even won the most recent pennant with her Tweed Osprey squad, and she's ready, man. I'm excited to see Emma Boyd ascent, and number 4.
Okay. No, we'll see where the rest of these names keep sliding in there. I'm not going to terribly disagree with anyone going to Worlds. Essentially, you're going to get me just kind of humming and hawing over semantics here, but she's had very good showings in Australia and plays in the Premier League, and as you said, Tweed Head Ospreys. So I'm not going to really dwell too long. We can just continue on. I'm just sitting here nodding my head because I have no idea what's coming next. So go ahead.
What's coming next is up 3 from November, getting into that top 5. It is Bailey Van Ston. And you know what? I said the same for Bailey last year. You agreed last year as well. There must be opportunities here. We knew, man. We knew that they were ready, and they were waiting in the wings if there was a bit of faltering at Commonwealth, and that's exactly what happened. And it's gonna be a good squad to follow. I wish them the best. I hope they justify this spot and don't get too overwhelmed by it, because they shouldn't. It's just bowls, man.
Yep, definitely. She deserves her spot there. The bronze medal mixed pairs, followed by silver at the U25s. Definite. Agreed.
You wanted her number 3, though.
Maybe not 3, but yeah.
It's okay, man. We can disagree.
Semantics. As I was saying, semantics, we're kind of having the 5 of them are kind of just, yeah.
No movement. Number 6 is my personal crush of the lawn bowling game is Crystal Shepherd, as you know. She's back again, back in Victoria, and this time she didn't take a year off, which she always does. She's just like, oh, Crystal's back every 700 days to win another gold medal.
Back again.
Yeah,
Crystal's back.
Just keep singing that over and over again until she stops winning gold medals. She's going to go down as one of the most accomplished, not just leads, but probably Canadian championship players ever, because she just boasts 1 million golds. So you can dispute it, though. There's some national squad members below her, and whatever.
I honestly like the result-based side of things. So if we're going with people that have actually achieved results, I don't disagree with you putting her essentially right behind every single person that's going to the World Championships that's achieved results over the last year. So continue.
I mean, she didn't let Elaine Jones intimidate her last year, and Elaine Jones is probably the reason why I finished 7th.
She assaulted you for leaving her off the list, and you were just scarred for the rest of the week. I understand.
Yeah, I assure you she is on this list, even though she's been quiet this year. I'm never doing that again. Number 7, down 4. She was initially with her Commonwealth Games selection. It was Jen McDonald, but is she just one and done at the world level? I don't really know. I don't know if she went for it, if she just took a step back with family, who knows? But maybe she takes it back in 2024. But I'm kind of just mostly interested in having her and Claire Day just randomly play together at the Nationals. That'll be an interesting team to watch. So Jen's a good roller. Happy with 7.
Yeah. Okay. No. Again, I have to see who your names are behind it here. I don't necessarily disagree. A lot of your questions that you posed there, a lot of the questions you just posed, I agree with. So, one and done. What's sort of happening? Again, it's kind of reminds me of Jerome Kirby and the names from the previous list. We just don't know what they sort of do provincially to fully understand what's going on with the situation. But still, technically on that national team. Still going to nationals could throw a big pile of crap in your face and do really well next week. So we'll see.
She's an interesting case study. If that was her one shot at international, it was the Commonwealth Games, and then suddenly she was that was it. I would love to just delve further as to why, but for now it's unpredictable. Another person at 8, down 3 is former squad member Jackie Foster. Maybe this is it. Maybe we don't see Jackie again at the international level, but she is looking to run it back at the women's force. I'll give her that. And I love Jackie. I wish her the best. And I think they will be another threat for the force event. I'm excited to watch that. And then
Continue.
number 9. Oh, continue. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the awkward silence. Appreciate that. No, -2 from last time. Again, Leanne Shinnery, number 9. After the Commonwealth Games, overall, something had to give, and it came at the expense of Leanne. So now that she's living abroad, maybe this is the last we hear of her for a while. So it was a good run, and who knows? Who knows what she does moving forward? And then to round out our top 10 is Linda Ng. I think I had her at 10 last time. But she, again, like Kirby, gained some good experience out in Warilla at the World Cup. And she also stuck around and played the Australian Open as well, which I give her a lot of credit to that. I think she is a great singles player at the moment, and let's see if she can build on that.
Yeah, solid selections for the top 10. You're already getting at me for saying semantics, but there's certain names I would have definitely shuffled around, like Jackie's name. I'm not gonna argue with where you put her there. Defending champion, went to Com Games, and coming back to defend her crown. So definitely there. Leanne's name potentially could seen sliding ever slightly more down than your list, but again, I don't know who's coming up on your list here, so we'll see. Maybe I'll jump back and I'll start just attacking your list later on here.
You're gonna love number 11 now.
Oh, perfect.
Because I have this weird affinity of just looking back on historical things that happened, and then they haven't happened in 4 years. You know what I'm talking about. Do you remember the song "Return of the Mac" by Mark Morrison? It's like "Return of the Mac." You recall
Yes,
the song? Okay, good.
I'm aware of the song. Yes, thank you.
I'm waiting until like 2024 to see Priscilla Westlake like come out of the forest and just like that song's playing in the background. She's like, "I'm back. I'm over this shit. I'm ready to conquer Canada again." Or we never see her again, and this is the last time I mention the name. Okay?
Okay. I feel like you're like someone who has like almost a UFO show or something where you're looking for something that we're just never going to see again, and that you're saying that the UFOs are out there, so they deserve to be on your list. So this is your first one where I really feel I can understand late on your list, maybe throwing Priscilla's name on there because we're talking about a former world champion and multiple time Canadian champion, but I don't think we've literally seen her roll a bowl in two years now. So
yeah, I'm holding on to the past. I'm scarred. I'm scarred by recent events.
you might want to put her name on a milk carton or something and see if you can figure out what's happened, or maybe do a documentary to figure out what's gone on there. So I'm pretty perplexed by that one, but I respect it. I understand where you're coming from, but I definitely would have waited quite a bit longer down this list here.
Yeah, it does. I feel like it just didn't make sense to plop her randomly at 19th because she doesn't bowl. I'm holding on to something great that just might not even be there. It's like the Lord of the Rings series, and then 5 years later, The Hobbit came out. You go from the greatest thing of all time to just like something that's just not hitting as much, and maybe that's just it for Westlake. Gonna have a drink of my wine quick. Give me a second here. Number 12. Very excited about her game. She did exactly what I wanted to see at the U25s. Was Amy Spence. Last year, she had the luxury of not having to deal with Bailey and Jordan, correct? Correct. Thank you. That head nod means yes. This time she did, but at the same time, like Bailey and Jordan are just more experienced bowlers. But Amy, she pushed both of them at certain times during the week anyway. So she can clearly roll. And I think finishing third, I think this is the start of something really good. I think it's not just in Canada, but like she could be the face of the Maritimes in short order. And I think that's pretty special on the women's side, because I mean, Jackie was kind of that face for a while, but now you got this young upstart from PEI doing some things. Love to see it.
I quite like this, Scotty. I was very impressed with her bowling at the U25s there, and I think we really got to give kudos to the coaching system that Canada sort of cultivated with the regions. Tammy Foster-Vino has worked wonders. Last time I saw Amy bowl was probably a good 5 years ago, and she has just exponentially improved. Terrific bowler now, and I think that coaching system that they have out in the Maritimes there is doing wonders. So exactly what you're saying. I see mad potential, and the sky is the limits there, definitely.
And we mentioned coaching in our last segment is like how pivotal that is going to be for her game, and the fact that she does have those resources this past year, all I wanted to hear. Number 13, I'm going to put Elizabeth Cormack, bowling with Crystal Shepherd, defending gold medalist in the women's pairs, and she's back again. So there is something there, and I've never seen her bowl before outside of Burlington, and I didn't even get to see her then that much anyway. So apparently she's good. I like what she's doing.
Yep. Zero arguments on my side. She's a name. Her and Amy are probably two names I would have pushed up on your list. So
yeah. 14. again, might be a bit of a hot take. I'm holding on to Song Sin Sao being a thing in Canada in due time. Coming out of Quebec, again, not a lot of depth in Quebec. And she's with Michelle Leroux, and they're doing things. They're looking to defend their mixed pairs title again, and it would be really cool to see her appear in the women's events and maybe make a bit of noise. So if she doesn't do that, I don't know if I can put her much further than 14th. Maybe I have to drop her a bit, but right now I like what she's doing, and I hope she does more for the women's side of the game.
That's news to me if they're defending their mixed pairs title, but if they are, that's kind of a cool thing, because I think that was one of our predictions or things that we talked about on the last show, is we wanted to see her name on other events other than the mixed pairs, maybe playing in some of the other stuff. So if you have news that I don't know and she is playing in the mixed pairs, that's awesome, and kind of would explain maybe why we're not seeing Michelle and her both on the nationals there. And kind of similar to Michelle, it's kind of one of those things where we don't know. They could move up, they could move down. She's also playing in the US Open next month or month and a bit from now, so it's a name that could definitely leap up and down that list, so I don't mind that there.
I'm also 0-1 on my fact check, so I'm probably going to be 0-2, and I'm just wrong about them making mixed pairs, but feel free to get some background on that.
That'd be great.
15, big riser, up 5. I think I'm a fan of Cindy Higgins. She's kind of doing some things. She's winner of the provincial fours. She's in the singles. A little bit of a minor breakout party happening in Ontario, and I don't know a lot about her game, but results speak volumes.
Yeah, those results definitely leap off the page, because I think we can't understate how difficult it is to get out of Ontario. So we're seeing a name twice and previous results. So yeah, I respect that placement there, because I think that's definitely a name to watch at nationals. 2 different entries, could definitely see some heavy movement on her name here.
Sweet. 16 down 4 from last time. Jan Robinson. She's sneaky good. She's just always at nationals. She's always kind of in the mix for a medal here and there. I don't think that stance changes, because she is again competing in Victoria. She might be off the list if they have another mediocre finish, but if they push for a bronze, why not keep her here? But
yeah, I respect that one. She had a very good last year, and still attending nationals, doing fairly proficient, and had some good results at different open events in America last year. So I'm not gonna fault that one there.
I have no idea about my next 4 picks. I have no idea. I have Bobby Jean Charlton on there, just based off of a pretty decent 2023, but I don't know what's happening next year. Maybe she's off the list again. She's a good roller. At 18, I had Elaine Jones, down a couple because she's not in Victoria. And if she was, I'd probably pick her to finish second. No big deal. And she'd probably kick my ass because she knows that she's better than second. But again, big fan of Elaine Jones. 19 is Kira. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher the name. Shallow. Thumbs up on one or two.
Yeah, you were very wrong on the second one, so I was pointing to the first one, saying that you're pretty close on the first one.
Yeah, again, there's some young potential here. Successfully defended her junior crown. Great accomplishment. She's a thing. I hope she keeps just trudging along into the U25 stream and making some noise there. And to round out my 20, Jean Roney, the Roan dog. I'm doing it. She's a savvy vet. She's still competing. She's attached to costs in every national event. She got a silver last year. She was throwing some daggers. And she's going for it in the pairs and the singles in a week or so. And I'm struggling to find some additional depth here, and I hope you can shed some insight on it. But I love the late career surge from the Roan Dog. She's just always kind of there, and she's always plucky for a medal. So fight me on that.
Okay. No, Gene, throwing at a 20. You're pretty safe there because we're talking about probably the most consistent female bowler in Canada over the last 30 years. So we can't really.
A long time.
Yeah, the longevity is 100% there, and silver medal last year. She was playing great in Burlington. I fully expect her to come home with at least one medal from Victoria. So can't disrespect that. Bobby Jean, for going back to your other list, players on the list, could be a Jerome Kirby situation where we're seeing a singles specific player maybe can't get into the team games with the changes we have next year. I'm speculating. I don't know how things work out in BC, but could be a name we see sort of slide off that list, especially if the indoor disappears, because we've seen very good results at the indoor out of her. So, yeah, Kara, I would move up your list significantly because, who was the last person who won 2 straight junior titles?
Who was it?
Well, if we're going for the ladies' side of things, it would be, I believe, Priscilla Westlake. So we're dealing with people that you're already putting pretty high up on your list, and another name that I know has won a lot of junior titles is Jordan Koss, who's pretty high up your list too. So the fact that she's won 2 straight, I think you can't really underestimate that. That is quite an achievement. Like, we're going way back in the days, like Caitlin Brierley. It's very difficult to have 2 straight titles. So I would have thrown her 5-6 spots up your list, definitely.
Yeah.
So
I can respect that. I think once we got past 13 at Elizabeth Cormack, there's some debate there.
Yeah, and if I'm gonna throw some other names out there that, like, you did lose some names there, and from me just recently being at the youth championships. So if I'm gonna throw names that did pretty well there, Gwyneth Chang, second in the juniors. She was incredibly impressive for a first-time participant. Very good young bowler out of BC. Lucy Ewan, she played terrific. Her and Amy Spence had a back-and-forth great bronze medal game. So those top 4 of the girls in the U25s are incredible. Alexis, also from the U25s, very solid ladies field from the U25s for the youth championship. So those are just names I'm tossing out there. You also got a lot of the participants at the championships that I feel are criminally left off. Cam LaFriend will definitely love me for this one. I feel Tammy Foster-Vino should have probably been on your list because she was a skip of the defending ladies fours team, and I know she was a huge part of that. So shout out to Tammy, second time. I'd definitely throw her on there. And then there's a couple other names that are returning names that I'd kind of throw on my list, like Shirley Fitzpatrick Wong. She's back.
She's on my watch list. Tammy's on my watch list too.
I feel like
Alexis is on my watch list.
Okay, so she just fell off your list last time, and I feel like because we're seeing your name back, I would not be terribly surprised because Wanda Fuka has been very friendly to her in the past. So continue with your watch list. I'll stop just naming names on your watch list.
No, I need this. You were there on the scene for the juniors, and I wasn't. So I'm not a god. I can't predict all of this. I need some guys on the ground giving me some intel. So thank you. Kathy Larking is another Ontarian who's kind of starting to make a little bit of a presence at nationals. Give her a shout out. I did have Alexis, Tammy, and Shirley Fitz. Shirley Fitz just being back again. Like, Shirley Fitz can win a gold medal this week, and she's back in the top 10 with ease. Because obviously she's been doing her thing since 2002. So she's a queen. Isn't she bowling with her mother?
That is a team of legends. If you've ever, if there's a team of legends, but
is still kicking it, and she's going to Nats again.
But you have a thing of underestimating the legends from Manitoba. So
No,
we're going out there again because she bowled with her
go
mom,
there
but she
again.
got Marilyn Barron. She bowled with Marilyn a lot of times too, and Donna Law. All four of those names have won a lot of Canadian championships, Alex. So
Wow,
if you
Donna
were in
Law-
Victoria, expect to be slapped by all four of those ladies in succession.
Donna Law is a queen. Clarice, Elaine, Shirley. There's some heavy lifting from Manitoba women's over the years. That's some big time people. Beyond them, there's more. Even Betty Van Willingham's always kind of just, here we go again. I'm just gonna skip this event, and Elaine will be mad at me for a bit, and then we'll get a silver. Boom.
Perfect. Is that the whole watch list for the ladies there?
That's it. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I know we're approaching the hour apex, but I think we can safely segue into our hot take national predictions. What do you think?
I don't know. It might be a decision we'll have to leave for the editor.